Okay, so let's bring up Katharina. Katharina, come on in. Turn on your mic, babe.
Hi.
Oh, will you guys do me a favor because I'm seeing a big board? Raise your hand so I know where to focus. So good. Now okay, there. Hello.
It's so nice to meet you. I was very excited about this evening. I'm not really sure what to talk about.
You don't need to. If there was something you wanted to say, great. If not, we can save it for questions as we all chat. So it's all, she just wanted me to make sure I kind of set eyes on everybody and say hello.
I see. I think I did miss a couple people mentioned that they sent their resumes and their headshots to you. And I was wondering if I could do that as well.
Absolutely. Every one of you are invited to send it to me afterwards. Just give me, a day or so to get back, with the week. So, because I do want to make notes and stuff. So but Marshall, I will say you had a very good resume, so I was using yours as an example template.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. That's usually what I'll do in a room with the actors on site. Let's go with the resume. So.
Oh yeah, this is Jennifer coming up. Jennifer, come on in.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi again. Thank you for being with us.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm Jennifer. I am from Riverside, California, just visiting New York right now. So I'm not originally from here. But yeah, thank you for being here tonight.
You're welcome. And the good news is now you can be anywhere in the world and it all works, because we cast Pinocchio from my front yard, and every actor, hundreds, it turned into thousands by the end with all the roles. Everything was done on self-tape.
Wow.
Yeah.
Next.
Jennifer, did you want to say anything else?
Nope.
Nope, I'm good. I just have questions for later.
Okay, hold on. And let's bring up Nancy Livingston.
Nancy and I have already said hi.
Yes, we have. Thank you again for coming tonight. I've got a cat here that likes to Zoom bomb, and I got to get him. This is Murray.
Yay!
And he's driving me nuts. He's, as you would understand in New Zealand, he's a total beast. He's a total beast.
Oh, he can photobomb anytime.
Oh, he does it. He'll be back. Anyway, thank you for your comments. And very prompt. I was amazed, as I know you're busy. And you could probably tell I'm kind of a novice at this, like Jessica. I had a career in government. In politics, I was in Washington, D.C., working for various administrations, took a break to get a graduate degree at UCLA, and then went back into government. So I got back into stage acting about 20 years ago. Barb and I are in a show, and that's what I listed most on my resume. So no, I'm not a current newscaster.
That was from a show?
That was from a gig when I was in a government job in like the late 80s or 90s. So I was just following the format of film, TV, and theater. And it may have looked like it was a current job, but it's not.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I would recommend taking that off if it wasn't on some actual show.
Okay.
Because casting directors will ask, and then sometimes it looks like you're padding the resume.
Okay.
And it's, so it depends on what you're pursuing. So if somebody's pursuing theater, then theater becomes first. But for the States, usually in acting, for all of us, it's film and television. It doesn't matter if there's very few things on it. A lot of CAA clients have very few credits. It's just about putting up what you've done speaking wise.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate your help on that. And I will yield my time to somebody else.
Thank you, Nancy. Let's bring up Danny. Danny is in the band. Danny, turn on your mic, honey. Danny is in the Tom Petty, how do you say it? Tom Petty.
A tribute show.
Yeah.
do like a Tom Petty tribute thing, and yeah, just played last weekend with it. And work's starting to pick up with that, and so I'm doing that. And
How cool. That
Yeah.
has to be back out there now, huh?
yeah, the gigs are starting to pick up, so that's great.
Yay.
Yeah.
And you sent me your resume too.
Yeah, thank you for the notes. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I guess I'll send you my picture later because I have an earlier picture. I need to get it redone, but I want to just get your opinion on whether it's any
Yes.
good or not. 'Cause,
Yes, absolutely. I would love to get pictures as well.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Danny.
Oh,
So I'm
yeah,
gonna
thank
bring-
you. Yeah.
You bet. I'm going to bring up Jessica. Not Jessica, excuse me, Rebecca. Come on in, Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hi, Victoria. Nice to meet you. My name is Rebecca, and I'm from Guatemala. I currently live in
Guatemala, yep.
Guatemala.
Yep.
Yeah, I wanted to thank you because of your notes and what you respond to me about my resume. And I will send you to my headshots because I
Good.
didn't send them to you yet, and I wanted you to like review and all of that.
Yes.
And yeah, and also I'm an athlete. I'm a synchronized swimmer athlete. So
Ooh, how
yeah, and
neat.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a
Now I
lot
got
of
into this
work.
acting.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
good, Jessica. Now let's bring up Jessica Bigby.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Victoria. I am from the reality world and I am learning kind of how to receive direction from Toni, and she's been great. And I'm just here to kind of gain some more industry knowledge. So thanks for being here.
Which reality world?
I recently shot a pilot kind of in the travel food area.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, thank
That
you.
had to be nice.
It was fun.
Food and travel, two of my favorites. Okay.
Okay.
Did you make the food, Jessica?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, wow. How nice. You know, I always wanted to do a reality show where I'd walk into like a supermarket or a drugstore and hypnotize people in a past life. Thanks, Jessica. Let's bring up Stephen Odachowski. Turn your microphone on, Stephen.
Hi, Stephen.
Hi, Stephen Odachowski. I'm from New Jersey originally. I played college baseball, still play sports all the time now. That's
Oh,
where
you
I'm-
have been great at my softball games that I threw for 18 years. Dang it, you're too late.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, I'll be sending my resume and picture after this.
Good, good.
I'm
Absolutely.
just thankful you're here. Thank you very much, and looking forward to asking questions and learning a lot.
Good.
Thank you, Stephen. Let's bring up Marshall, turn on your mic, whose resume you liked.
Hi, Victoria.
this is
Hi
Marshall.
there.
Yeah, thanks for your input. I wasn't expecting an email. I told Toni, I was like, she wrote back. It was pretty amazing.
Oh my God, one of them,
You
they
know?
did. They wrote back, they're like, yeah, responsive.
Yeah, it was really helpful just because like, well, my background's very corporate-like, and I do
I
acting.
saw.
Yeah, so I work at NASA during the day, so it's very analytical and very technical. I was really excited when you said Contact. Do you casted Contact?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite sci-fi movies, and the music from it by Ellen Silvestri was amazing, or is amazing.
I'm glad. I get a lot of comments on that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
Jodie Foster and Bob. Yep. And Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. Did you meet Carl Sagan? Oh wait,
No,
yeah.
I did not. Bob did, but I did not. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah. I mean, I just in general though, I kind of just like to let it loose outside of work because I get to be creative and
Yeah.
imaginative, which I'm sure folks here can all relate. Like, there's always so many rules in the
yeah.
office. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
so, yeah. And so, yeah. I mean, I started off when I was in high school, and then I was gone, came back. I don't know. Just in general, I tend to play like the nerdy tech guy. Big surprise. The doctor, the lawyer, and like I don't know. folks see me as a Yakuza dude too sometimes. I don't know what's up with that, but I just go for it anyway. So thank you very much.
The thing is you've got your job that you know you do well, and you get to have fun and play in this other arena that you also love. That's like a win-win.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Thank you.
thanks, Marcia. Let's bring up Marco. Marco, turn on your mic.
Marco Torres.
Hi, Victoria. It's just an honor to meet you. Well, everyone's been thanking you for your kind words. I want to thank you as well. I didn't really, like everyone said, I didn't expect you to reply. I know how busy you are. I've worked with casting directors before, and they hardly ever email back. Some of them even just want us to call back so it's faster rather than emailing, because I'm sure there are just too many projects on your hands. So anyway, thank you. I've incorporated them. I know my resume hopefully will keep getting better, and I'll follow each of your advice. I'm actually new to the acting world, like I've said. I've only been doing this for 4 months. I've gotten constant work as a background, which I like because I've been learning so much.
Yes, good idea.
I'm pursuing it, since I accidentally got into it 4 months ago. I've been pursuing it with a passion. I take as much background work as I could. I enrolled in Meisner classes, in Strasbourg classes, TA 200 with even the LACC. I'm taking Toni Attell's class, and I'm learning so much. And then I've also I do a lot of training. In the last 4 months, I've had several principal roles and a lot of feature roles. So, I hope I'll get there. But yeah, so I just want to learn as much. And yeah, thank you for all your inputs.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And Irmac, turn on your Irmac. Is coming from.
Oh, there she is.
Hello,
the-
Victoria.
Hi.
I'm Irmak. I'm from Istanbul.
Wow. Are you there now?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Oh my gosh. Wow. What time is it?
Oh, it's 5 a.m.
Oh,
Yeah.
God bless you.
Yeah.
But it's really nice to meet you. Very exciting, and thank you for being here.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, Irmac started out very shy, and now she's really become quite brave.
Fantastic. Acting can do that, You
Yeah.
get to disappear and it helps. So,
There's
yeah.
that fine line, don't you think, Victoria, between acting and psychology? Therapy and acting. There's a fine line, I think.
For actors where they feel that it helps their soul and their.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it might be a personal therapy to be able to get into the roles. I give you guys credit in my couple of acting roles. I just terrified. So I think you guys do wonderful by just acting in front of a camera. It's terrifying for me.
Oh, you're funny. This is Kenneth Fu coming up. Turn your mic on, Kenneth.
Oh, hi, Kenneth. There you are. Oh, yeah, and you sent me your resume too. Yeah.
Thanks so much for the comments and everything. Yeah,
You're welcome.
very helpful. Yeah, I actually didn't prepare anything to say. Yeah,
That's
so
okay.
everything
That's
is
okay.
in the resume.
Nice to meet you. I saw you in writing.
Yes, I'd love to become a writer. Yes.
Wow, good.
Yeah. So acting is one part of things I want to do, but mainly I'll be focusing on my writing. So.
Cool. And it's good to know, just the way Patrick was talking, having both worlds is good.
Yeah.
So, Juan Jose, come on in with your mic. Raise your hand, sweetheart. This is Juan. Very funny.
Hello, Victoria. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here. I was amazed when I Googled your name. I saw all the things you have done. I was like, wow, this is incredible. How many great things you have working, and yeah, it's great. Well, I am from Colombia. I am psychologist and high performance athlete. And I decided to study psychology because I wanted to understand mind, behavior, and emotions of the people, and can put that on my acting and like try to improve my acting skills through the psychology. This is why I study first psychology. I am already psychologist. I am 24 years old, and I moved just in January here to LA, trying to reach that goal of becoming a professional actor. And I already have done theater back in Colombia. And yeah, I just have some questions for you later.
Yeah. Now, how long have you been in Los Angeles?
Since January, I was first living in Utah 1 year and then moved here to LA. And yeah, since January I've been studying, but I studied back in Colombia too, acting. Then yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome.
Thank
LA
you
is
very
great.
much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Juan. And coming in is Melina. Turn on your microphone, sweetheart, and wave your hand. Melina, wave your
Hi.
hand.
Hi. I'm
Hi.
Melina. Nice to meet you. Thanks for talking to us. I'm from Brazil. I am a singer, songwriter, and actress. And I'm Toni's student, and I'm learning a lot from her. And yeah, I love this this career of acting as well. And I'm really into learning everything that I can.
Are
And
you in
you're
Los
also
Angeles or Brazil?
What?
Are you in Los Angeles or Brazil?
I am in Los Angeles. I live in Los Angeles, yes.
Oh, great. How long?
4 years.
For 8 years?
Four years.
Great. So far, so good, huh?
Yes, I love it. I feel like all the outcasts from their hometowns are here. So we meet each other and I feel really free. It's amazing. It feels like home for me.
Good, good, good.
And this is Antonio Behrman. Antonio, come in, wave your hand.
Hello, Antonia.
Hey, I'm Antonia. Thank you so much for coming and talking to us tonight. I'm really excited, like everyone else. But yeah, I'm Antonia. I grew up in California, and then I spent my teenage years in Italy. So I speak Italian, and then I went to NYU. I'm pretty new to acting. Like I would have sent you my resume, but I don't really have anything on my resume yet. Before this, I was actually in law school, but I'm living in LA now, and yeah, just really excited to be here.
Yay! Congrats. I had a friend of mine who started managing a young actress, and she was raised in New York and France, and was in law school, and her parents wanted her to go down, and she wanted acting, and they said, we'll give you 1 year to get a job, and she did, and she stayed. She's been in acting ever since, and now she's writing and producing and directing, and she's not even 28 yet. And she started when she was 18, so she's been doing it now for 10 years. But it's good to have all that background. It's all helpful for acting. So
That is cool. Coming up is Juan Pedro Soto. Juan Pedro Soto, you're on your mic. He's a director. He's a director, and he's surprised at the fact that he's also a good actor.
Thank you for the introduction.
Oh yeah, that's an intro.
Yeah. Hi, Victoria. So nice to meet you. I saw. I mean, you're great. That's all I have to say. You're amazing. Yeah, I was born in Venezuela. I came here to the US 5 years ago to study animation, and then I moved to LA and started working and then studying film directing in UCLA. And I mean, I wanted to do this class just to see how actors worked and how everybody did their process. And I have theater experience, but I don't have, on camera acting experience is completely different. So, I mean, it's so excited to meet you and so excited to answer some questions too.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, very cool. So animation is your background.
Yeah, I would love to direct and produce both live action and animation.
Yeah, live and I mean that's what Pinocchio is. It's live action and animation.
It just released, right? If I'm not mistaken.
What?
It just released, right? If I'm not mistaken.
No, that's the Guillermo del Toro piece.
Oh, I see.
And then also the Robert Benini or Benini.
Yeah.
I forget how we say his last name. He also did one. So no, we're doing the Tom Hanks Disney version.
Oh, that's true. Okay, okay.
So,
Yeah, because
and-
there were several ones. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I totally forgot how dark the story is for Pinocchio. You know, because I grew up on the Disney version, but it was really, he was an evil little boy.
Even analyzing the Disney one is pretty dark too, you know.
It's like, anyway, okay, moving on. Sorry, I digress.
No, nice meeting you.
And this is Noelle. Turn on your mic, Noelle. Noelle's coming in from Paris.
Oh my gosh, what time is it for you?
It's 4:36 a.m.
Well, thank you for joining us. That's sweet of you.
Of course, thank you for being here. Nice to meet you. So I firstly started acting at UCL Extension about 2 years ago. And so I'm really new to it, and that's it.
That's great. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody I missed?
I think we got everybody.
I think we
Looks
got
like from my
everybody.
board, yeah.
Okay, so now we can bring everybody back up. I think, let's see if everybody
I think you're.
comes up here, and now can you see everybody, Victoria, or do you want to be in the center?
No, I can stay right here. I don't care. I'm just a little square. So do you guys see the same thing that I'm seeing with all of us on these little squares? So when we're doing casting, just so you know, and we're looking at pictures, the pictures are really small. Like look at your center ones. They're even smaller than the center ones with that border. Yeah, because some have borders and some don't. So that's why when I was talking to some of you about the pictures and cropping so that you have more of the head showing, and you know, I'm seeing some that were like here and here and showing part of the body. We need more face. So think about that when you're taking your photographs for putting up on, you know, breakdown services. Toni, have you told them anything about breakdown, or is most everybody familiar with that?
Yeah, but you can work with them a little bit on that.
Well, does anybody have questions about the breakdown Actors Access? So I don't want to go blah, blah, blahing and taking up time if you all know about that. But what, Patrick?
No, it would be great for me to know about it. It would be great to hear about it.
Okie dokies. Marco, you have the same?
Yeah. Basically, I just wanted to ask which ones you use to find talent. Is it with Actors Access and Breakdown Casting Network? So I think,
Yeah. So I haven't used casting networks as much as I use breakdown services. I know that casting directors now, as we're doing a variety of projects, it's broadening, but I usually use Actors Access and Breakdown, but my database is through Casting Networks. It used to be called Cast It, and then they were purchased by Casting Networks. So it's all becoming one, and I've got an email about all the updates that they've done. And let's say I see your name or somebody pitches you and I type your name into my database. If you're already a part of the database and have signed on and you pay your money to be a part of it, it automatically pops up and I see all the credits. But it's not like I can do a search on that. So the way I tend to work is when we get a script, we send it to Breakdown Services, they break it down. They send it out to all the agents, all the roles, and the agents then submit through Breakdown Services, or it goes to Actors Access so that the actors can self-submit. So in that process, then we go and we click along and we see these tiny little pictures, and then we can make them bigger and we can look at the resumes. Doing a little video is very key, because in Breakdown and Actors Access, you can do either a slate, which you can do, I think it's what, a 10-second slate of, hi, my name is such and such, so we can hear your voice. But it's also, I'm sorry for the noise in the background.
Also, don't put down your manager or agent at the time, because you know, in 3 months you could lose them, and then you're confusing the casting director. Just slate your name, right, Victoria?
Then don't put your agent manager what?
Well, I was saying I had to redo mine a couple of times because I said represented by, and then I changed. So I was suggesting them just to slate their name.
Oh, in the slate. Yeah. Much better. Yeah, you just want it to be personal about you and not who you're repping with, because every time you change it, doesn't it cost you? That's another thing too. So, so then we can go bigger, but if you have a video, it puts you at the top of the list. So when, let's say I'm looking for a character that's in her 20s and the agents submit, everybody with their film demos and or a slate go to the top of the list. So if I have 25 pages, I'm seeing the ones with film and tape first. Hold on one second. I just need to.
Actors Access is a part of Breakdown Service.
Yes, Actors Access is
Secondary part.
Yeah. So then, and then our assistant or associate will set up appointments through that. So we've used both. I'm kind of, since I've been around since 1978, I've known Breakdown Services. And so I've been very loyal to them. And I can still access actors and agency actors through them. So it just depends on your taster's choice. Anybody have questions about that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I know you can like upload a number of like video files to Actors Access, and I'm wondering just like how many or how much of a video do casting directors actually watch?
So first of all, if we're looking through for a role, the key thing is your picture. So you want to make sure that you that your picture really represents you, so that it makes us want to click on you. Then what we'll do is we'll want to look at the tape. What I like to see is if it says, you know, bad guys, good guys, you know, or it can show the comedy show or the dramatic show. A lot of times we can recognize that. But it's just up to you how many diverse roles that you're doing that you want to be seen by a casting director. So another thing for you guys, just because you're not SAG or you haven't worked on a project, it is very common now, from the big agencies down to the small agencies, that you, like an audition scene that you do in class with Toni, you can use that. If it's a good representation of what you can do, use that as part of your demo reel. So those are your demo scenes. That way we can see you. So if you've played a doctor and then you've played you know, a homeless person, putting those up gives us an insight. Does that help? Any other questions?
I have a.
Okay.
Yes, Patrick.
Oh,
Go ahead, Patrick.
So Victoria, like my on-screen stuff, like I guess the question is there a point, is there an expiration date? You know, like I did a few things going 2004, I was in the pilot of My Name is Earl, and then I did a few roles on Disney in like the 2009, 2010, but is it like now it's 2021, so don't bother with that, or is it still useful?
That's a really good question. So there are some actors, since I've been around since 78 as well, that you go, oh, and they have something from Grandpa Goes to Washington, you know. If it was a really great scene for you, then I would say it's worth keeping and having down on the, like at the bottom of your list, putting your most recent, you know, tapes at the top. If you wanted, you could date it and just say funny scene from 1970, you know, from this show, because you can type a little something and kind of give a reason for it. But yeah, if you look completely different you know, or if you were a child actor, and you put something on when you were a child and then you're an adult, that's kind of weird.
Right.
So,
Is
so yeah, it's-
2009 too old for him? I don't think it is.
I don't think so. If it's like I said, if it's a scene that he feels really proud of, then I say keep it, because it shows what you've done. You know, like maybe it was a great scene with a star actor, and you just don't want to put it in the trash because hey, you know, I was toe to toe with this name actor. So just go with your gut about, you know, what you really think. You know, you just don't want a one-liner that's from, you know, 2001.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, Barbara.
What's the most delightful thing that an unknown actor, has done to get your attention? And it's twofold. And what's the most annoying thing?
So there was, gosh, it's real interesting. There was an actor, and unfortunately I wasn't able to give that actor a job, but it left such a cute impression. They wrote, like, you know, when your kids will write a letter with crayon, they wrote a letter to me and put it in the mail. And it was like, you know, I was talking to my neighbor and I was telling her how I wanted to get an interview with you. And she said, that's cinchy, just write her a letter. So he did it in crayon. And of course I had a meeting with him because it was just so creative. You know, unfortunately, it just didn't work out that he ended up getting a job through me, but it was just one of the most charming things that I've ever gotten. And then there was one other actor, he had money to blow, obviously, but it was, remember the movie Desperately Seeking Susan?
Oh, yeah.
So he did a little pamphlet, said Desperately Seeking Victoria Burrows, and then had all sorts of pictures of things he had done and, you know, of film work that he had done. He was from another country and he was trying to get a meeting. And so I met with him. Unfortunately, nothing came up during that period of time that he was active here. And I think he went back to France and stuff. So that was also another clever thing. As far as annoyable, talking too much in readings, you know, when they come in and start just going on and on and on and not paying attention to the role and just talking and saying things like, I had 4 auditions today and I just didn't have time to, you know, memorize your pages. And you kind of go, well, that makes us feel important, you know? So you have to be, you're in business, you know, it's like you can't just go, yeah, I had to study all those, so I wasn't ready for yours, you know. And then we were doing a project where actors could bring in their creative they had to be creative about being a character. And this one person brought a suitcase and decided to open it up and put all these props in the room, which took at least 3 to 4 minutes. And you're like, tick-tock, we need to do the scene. And then of course, then it's packing it up real slowly and chatting with you. You're kind of going, what?
Oh.
So professionalism, you know, come in. Is there anything that you want me to know before I get started? Do you want to see what I want to see and what we do in our office, and or the messages that we send out in emails is do 2 takes. Do 1 for you, 1 for us. So when they're in the room with me, I let the actor do what they've prepared, and then I'll have them do it again with maybe a note, or just sometimes the nerves get you. So just do it again, just to be comfy, you know. Getting it out once is sometimes just, there's so much pressure behind it. And I love actors. I think what you do is amazing. So I work at making it feel comfortable.
Thank you. You are making us feel comfortable, at least me. I can just myself, but I really appreciate that. I can feel it from you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a question?
Annie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, Marco.
Regarding breakdowns, right? So does it really help when you submit a matching photo to fit the description of the breakdown?
No, it doesn't have to. I mean, me personally, I think you should not put 15 photos on breakdown services or Actors Access. So I will tell you that there's been many times when I've been looking at a role and the first picture that I'm looking at, because there's only one thumbnail photo when we're going through the submissions, I'll go, oh, interesting. And I'll click on, and then I'll see these 12 other photos that's kind of like this. 1 picture, 2 picture, 3 picture, 4 picture, but it's like the same look in just a variety, and you're paying for that. So if you have your tough guy look and your nice guy look, that should be creative enough. So just don't overdo it. And it used to be in commercials, you know, they would say, oh, if you're doing a Coke commercial, you got to hold the Coke can, you know, or if you're doing tennis, hold a tennis racket. You don't need to do all that. Just get like Marco, I think you didn't send me, no, Marshall sent me the picture, right, Marsh? You sent me the picture with your resume, and the photographer that did your photos did a really good job. They captured you really well, and you had it cropped. So you might want to share with the class who you used, and because photographers are very key, and your eyes are the windows of the soul. So you have to be careful. I did a photo shoot with a headshot photographer, and they shouldn't be the director. You should be the director of what you want to accomplish in that. I had to drink alcohol in order to get comfortable enough to have photos taken. But the problem happens is that you tend to look like models when they go pose, 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 and you go blank eye. So you have to think of the characters you want to be. So if you're thinking I'm a kick-ass lawyer, you got to give an attitude and have it show through your eyes. So that's the big thing that I notice with actors, that when they're on the miss, I'm not seeing the soul behind the eyes. It's a pose, and I call it the model pose, which does not, it's like, oh, that's great for your family, but it's not great for acting. So think about that when you're doing your photos. That's the best advice I can give you guys in terms of taking photographs.
Just a yes or no follow-up. So when you're in Actors Access, you are already in breakdown services, right? That's
Correct.
it. Right? That's
Sorry,
it.
was that your question and I went off on some tangent?
No, yeah. Okay. You answered it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Danny, go for it.
Yeah, you mentioned that when someone has a reel or something, you look at that first, but then you mentioned something about if they do a slate. Are you saying that maybe I should do a slate and send a slate if they don't, am I making any sense?
Yes, if you have a demo, Danny, if you have a demo, I don't think you need to do a slate unless your characters are so different that no one can see who you are. Sometimes the slates are just helpful to, kind of say, this is who I am as a regular person versus my characters. Like some people do a lot in makeup and, like have all sorts of different outrageous characters. So they want to do one that says, hey, this is me, looking forward to seeing you, that kind of thing.
Right.
But if you have a demo, it still goes to the top of the list when our submissions.
Okay. So if they don't ask for a slate, don't give them a slate, right? Correct?
Well, if you do a slate, you're paying money for it. So it's your choice.
Oh, okay.
If that's it. Now let me be clear. That's if you're posting your stuff on breakdown services / Actors Access. When you do an audition for a casting director, you always need to do a slate.
Right. Okay.
So we see the body and we get your name and a representative if you for that particular role. Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Cool. Thank you.
Yes, Katarina.
What kind of pictures do you recommend for us to have? You mentioned character shots, and I just wanted to know, I guess, like, as far as variety goes, what do you like to see?
I want to see a really good representation of you, your face. I think outdoors or indoors are both good. If you feel that you want to play upscale women and want to dress up and look elegant, and that's something, the characters that you feel that resonate with you, then do that. And then the dress down and the dress up. It really is what's in your wheelhouse that you want to pursue, and then do those photos. A lot of well-known actors usually just have a really good moody shot. And I mean moody because there's just an attitude to them. And so it could be, a 3/4 shot. There's sometimes it's that your friend took a photo of you and went, oh my God, that's amazing. And people use those. So it just you have to be really excited about it.
Awesome. Actually, I have a shot when you said moody, because I wasn't sure. Like usually people like to see happy, and I have this shot that's like really, I don't know. To me, I'm like, wow, I feel something. But it's encouraging to hear that.
You don't have to smile. You don't have to smile all the time. It can be, and I'll tell you what else is coming back is black and white. So some people are going back to black and white photos.
Oh, I love that.
And
that's so cool.
I used to show photographs when I would do the workshops and stuff of good photographs. And, there was one African-American man that was on a brick street with a white shirt, and the brick street was wet. And it just was like this amazing photograph. And then there's another guy that loved comedy. So he was wearing a suit and his tie went out this way. And another guy was in a pool doing this, it was just, so it just depends. I mean, what's wonderful is you have the freedom to explore ideas, and now with iPhones, you can get like an amazing amount of pictures, and it's so much of it works. Sorry, I'm like, the light is right on my head, so you probably can't see me that well, but so I apologize. I did not bring in the lighting director today.
We're interrogating you.
Hey, that's good. I want you to have information. It helps. A lot of people think that, as an actor, you have to fit into a box and you're trying to please what we want. But what we get excited about is seeing what you bring to the table. So if you're an artistic, creative person, do your thing. And then either a representative will say, oh, we got to tone it down, or this is what's going on. And you talk to them about, this is what's out there right now. But they need to understand what's in your wheelhouse and what you are good at. And I used to fight for accented people all the time because I love accents. I think our world and the jobs and our hospitals, accented people. Why were we always having these guys and girls that were all kind of mighty vanilla? And so I love what's happening now, and I love all your accents. The only thing that you got to be careful of is being able to be articulated, when you're working, so that it be heard on sound.
Juan Pedro, you had a question?
Yeah. I like, by the way, that you mentioned having a palette of colors instead of just selecting one color. I love when actors, I have a variety of things that I can choose instead of just one. That's for me very important. And I wanted to ask you about, so how do you recommend or select and this is more on the director's perspective, but how do you recommend or select the actors that you already have with the director, and how is that partnership between you and the director?
So when I meet with the director and producer, television is run more by producers, and film is run more by directors in terms of honoring the taste. In series, a producer could veto a director's choice. Is that I read the script, I ask the director and the producers what names, and I'll say star names or actor names that are recognizable that they see in the role, which gives me a guideline of the wheelhouse that they're in. From there, I then start with the breakdown going out with the characters and the description that I work out with the producer and director. They have to approve the character description that goes out to the agencies. The agents then submit, and I, keeping in mind the director and producer's idea of the character, and then I'm always that person that one thinks out of the box and tries to do something different to bring to the table. And I always look for new people. So just because somebody doesn't have credits doesn't mean that they aren't natural for the role. So when we were doing Pinocchio, there were kids that we saw that were brand new, and there were kids that had heavy duty credits. And there was a kid that was in high school that came down the pike and got very, very close. Didn't get the role, but you know, he should be proud of himself. He was a contender, as we say. So, you know, and Pinocchio, you have the blue fairy, and all of a sudden it's now Cynthia Erivo. So she, you know, from the white beautiful girl, we now have a black gorgeous, you know, character woman. And the reason why I go for character photos, there's more character roles than there are leading women roles or leading men roles. So I think if you think of yourself as a character actress, there's much more on the palette there. You can always play the lead when they put you in that. I don't think Bruce Willis thought of himself as a leading man when he first started, you know?
And do you have the same workflow with all directors?
Do I what?
Do you have the same workflow?
Workflow?
Yeah, like do you have the same, like the same path with each director, or you have more confidence with you know, with a specific director or a producer?
It's the same.
It's the same. Okay.
Yeah, it's a routine that you go through, and you just, you know, they may switch it up. You know, you may come in with an idea and they just go, hell no.
Okay.
And then there's other times they go, wow, I hadn't thought of it that way, you know. So it's like I did a podcast with one of my producers from Riptide when I was working at Cannell, and he reminded me, he said, Vic, you used to always come in with those wild ideas. Like, he goes, some of them worked and some of them didn't. I said, well, you know, at least I tried, you know, that's my job.
Yeah, that's great to have a variety of options too. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. It's just always, if you keep everybody talking about it together, sometimes some wonderful new things come about, you know, changing roles, no offense guys, but from men to women, you know, sometimes you can switch it from women to men. So it's just, you know, and the ethnicity factor, which thank God that's now so much going on, and which I love.
Yeah.
Any others?
Juan Jose?
Yeah.
Yeah, hello. What I want to know is, like, there's something that we as beginners can do to call the attention of the casting directors. Like, what can we do that we are just starting and to take easily the attention of a casting director? And if there's any recommendation of what should we put on our resumes, because we don't have like credits, or at least I don't have credits here. I just have credits of theater back in my country.
That's fine. You should put your credits in there and put the country name next to it, because that's still work that you did. So we're going to see that. But I missed the first part of the question.
Like, any recommendation for example, for me, that I am a beginner and I don't have like a resume and like any credits from someone, like what can we do to take the attention from casting directors in the pages or in in an application when you're applying for something, like if there's something that make you think, oh, I would like to see this guy better than others, even if he doesn't have any experience?
So it's going to be the picture. So first thing that we're going to see when we're looking at submissions, which means that when we click on to breakdown services or actors access, and you're part of that, and you're part of the guys that are from 25 to 35, then you want to make sure you have some sort of film footage up there, because that puts you at the top of the list. You want to make sure you have a good photograph, because that's going to draw us in to look at you. If you fit the role, there's a lot of people, like we'll get on an average of 1,000 submissions for a role. And it's strange how many people, like you think, did they read the description or did they just read the age range? Don't submit yourself or have your representative submit you for something for just an age range. They have to think in terms of what is written for the character description. That really, we just start doubting the agent if we're seeing somebody that's submitted that doesn't fit at all. Like there's strange stuff. Anyway, so there's that. So the auditions that you're doing, even in class that I mentioned earlier, the scenes that you're going to do, use that as your demo clips. So you have something. You then make sure you have good photographs. You're in acting classes, that's on your resume. So you're going to have that. You're going to have your stuff from Columbia, right? So it's not that you don't have anything. You do have stuff. So think of those as positives. And then you just keep doing it. Keep doing your acting. The actors that I listen to, I love my acting so much that every time I get a chance to do a scene, it's my passion. So if that makes you feel good, and I know you're using it with the psychology and the acting, but it goes hand
But
in hand.
I study psychology mostly for know things about behavior, mind, and
For the
put them
characters?
in acting. What I really want to do is acting.
Good. Well, then, you know what? Then this is a good head start.
Okay.
Those would be
Perfect.
my suggestions. Picture is going to be really helpful too.
And the other thing, I see that the other people is sending you the headshots. Can I send you like all mine, and you can give me the recommendation? So this is a very good one for someone to put attention on you, and this one can work more than the others.
You guys are sending me pictures. Just please don't send me 30.
No.
So send me, if you
The main
send
one.
me like 5 or 6, then I can tell you which ones. I
Yeah.
think Jessica, I sent you. I picked 2 of the few that you sent me, and because there were 2 that really her eyes were speaking really well, and I liked the look, and it was 2 different. Well, actually 3. We had the plaid shirt, yeah. So there was a variety of 3. Those are the ones that I think were the most interesting for you because your eyes were speaking. So it really is about that. Yes, I've asked for everybody to send me a picture and a resume, and I will comment on it, whether you like it or not.
And if I could add something here, it may not be the picture you like. Victoria did this for me some 20 years ago, and my hair was off my face because she said, I hate, get it off your face. And it was like this serious, like, I'm going to kill you unless you choose me picture. But she said, your eyes are speaking, your eyes are speaking. So, it's not always the one you like. Remember that. Marshall, you had a question.
Hi. I have a question just about self-tapes, and I know Victoria has talked about it a little bit, and especially like when I first started off, I was always like, what's the right answer, and then like, getting more comfortable in my own, like, my own process and interpretation and whatnot. I was always like, okay, what can I do, in this and such, like Dacre Montgomery's, like, for example, like, say tape audition for Stranger Things. He plays Billy Hargrove, is like considered really, really awesome. And what I'm asking in this regard is just like your thoughts on like kind of like pushing the creative borders of the script with doing a self-tape, and what works well versus what doesn't work well in that regard, if there is such a thing. I hope my question makes sense.
Well, if not, you'll redirect me.
Yeah.
So I always recommend in self-tapes that you do either a few steps, or you start off with maybe a word or so right before going in. Get into, I guess that what I'm saying is get into character before you start your lines. So
before life.
Is that what you call it, before life? Yeah.
Yes, so you're not just talking out of silence.
Yeah, it's like literally I'll see an actor, like, and you shouldn't hold the sides. I used to say, for cold readings, hold the sides. Now everything's competitive, and you should really know your material, because that way you can be thorough in your character. But I would see actors literally, I would say, okay, rolling and action, and they'd be like, and then it's like, wait a minute, it doesn't work that way on set. So if somebody was like doing a piece of business, oh, so I was wanting to talk to you. It just has a smoothness it coming in. And so Toni calls it before life. Hugely helpful when you're doing your stuff. Even if it's walking into frame, I tons of times tell actors, step out of frame and walk in and start your scene. Don't get rid of the chair when you're in there with me, because you may use it. Because a lot of people get really awkward with their characters. So having a chair to sit down on, or pick up something, having one prop that might be helpful. And then I do this, not that everybody else is going to, but when the reader finish the scene and I have the last line, I usually say, think of one other thing to say to me to close the scene.
But so that a button. Remember, I was teaching you that the other day. Button.
Okay, so Toni calls it a button. So button it with your own line as the character, because for me, that's showing my director that you have a creative sensibility beyond what's written on the page. And a lot of times directors don't say stop. They let it go a little bit longer before they say stop. So, and take chances. The actors that have gotten in the room. So you saw Contact, right?
Yeah, multiple times.
Okay, so there's the redhead guy that's one of the techies, which would be a role that you would be up for. So that was Max Martini, and he went in and read for our casting director in New York, and he called me because I knew his dad, and he said, Victoria, I just didn't feel I delivered. Do you mind if I do a self-tape? This is clearly a long time ago. I said, yeah, do it, Max. So he did his own version. His girlfriend took the video looking down on him while he was on the computer and smoking cigarette and doing the thing. And he did his scene. Not a lot of dialogue, but it was impressive because he brought together a character. He made his own scene. Then there was one line in a second scene. We had to do that line. So he took it out on the street. And as he was walking from behind, the camera was on him, and he calls over his shoulder, says the line looking at camera, and stepped in dog shit. And he went, oh my God, I stepped in dog shit. And then he did this. Remember that whole thing? And they kept it rolling. And he said, I sent that to you just for shits and giggles. I loved it. I showed it to Bob Zemeckis. Bob loved it. Showed it to Jodie Foster. They said, book him. Literally, I flew him out to Los Angeles. I wasn't allowed to tell him until he got to meet with Bob, but that's how he booked the gig. He was creative. He created the scene in the way he envisioned it. Now, there's some casting directors that want you to do it their way, which is just the talking head. Because I have friends that are actors that say, oh, my agent just wants the talking head. I said, and do one your way. Get creative and do another one. So there was a lab assistant, And I said, do it as though you're talking to the person walking through the lab. Because how many running shots do you see at NCIS and they're walking and talking and dealing with, stuff? Do one of those. And so her agent loved it and sent both, the regular take, which I call the vanilla take, and then the action take. So does that make sense in terms of saying you can break the boundary, and have fun? One guy, Bob flew him in from France because he did one scene, he popped out of a rooftop and did the scene from rooftop, and it was done in black and white instead of color. And he goes, I like what that guy's doing, bring him into town. So that was for the movie The Walk. So yeah, I highly recommend a little further than just talking heads in your auditions, even in your in anything. Great. Anybody else have a question?
Kenneth Fu, and then Stephen Odachowski.
And then, is it Nawal? No?
Kenneth?
How do you say it? Go ahead. Well, I think Nawal has a question too. Okay.
I think I'm after Stephen.
Okay, so Kenneth.
Okay. Two questions. First one is, what if someone has absolutely nothing to start from? Like no films, no TV, no high school stage experience, or not from a foreign country, nothing at all. So what can that person put on the resume? I think that's a daunting experience for me. Like, oh my God, what am I supposed to put here? Because I film no, TV no, theater no.
You're training. You're training. Everyone started from nothing. So you start by putting your training on. And if you have languages or accents or special skills, that's something. The training is going to help casting directors know that you're getting the experience of on-camera work. You should also, like Marco does, is get into the background work. That way you get to see the way, the shows work, because hitting a mark and talking and having all these, 40 people behind you, that's all very daunting. And so one of our considerations is that actor going to be able to handle the pressure on set? So by you having those experiences, that's going to help. So I would work on that as well.
Okay, thanks. And another question about the photos. Do we have to have our photos taken professionally, or selfies are okay?
It depends on how it looks. So I've seen many photographs that are taken by a phone, but they look good. And you just have to make sure that it looks quality. And you ask around, and you have Toni to bounce it off of when you get headshots. But professionally, that's always helpful, but you don't have to.
Can I add one thing here about Kenneth? Kenneth, if you remember that movie, what was the movie of Victoria about with Matthew McConaughey about AIDS, the AIDS guy who started the guy who played the bisexual, the transsexual. He was a
Dallas
musician.
Buyers Club.
Yeah, thank you. He was a musician, Kenneth, long before he became an actor. So I'm sure he had that on his resume, right, Victoria? You know which one I'm talking about? He played the transsexual. Am I saying it right? The transsexual.
You're talking about Jared Leto?
Yes. Wasn't he a musician, a famous musician first, and then?
I know he was a musician, still is. But he can come from anywhere. Everybody. It's. Don't be dissuaded by that. It's just you got to start somewhere. And that's why doing the tapes working in class, doing camera technique and all of that stuff, all of this and scene study. It's first you need to feel really confident, you know, that you're ready to go out there and be in front of the casting directors, because it's easy to make a bad impression and you don't always get the second chance. So you want to feel really good about what you're doing and before going out there. I remember meeting Gandolfini, and he said he met us on a feature film, no, actually a TV movie, and he passed on it even though we offered it to him. But he said for the first 2 years, he wasn't allowed in his acting school to go out and audition. He had to just study.
That was probably USC. That
I
they,
think it was in New York.
oh, then it was probably NYU, because they insist that their actors stay within just the acting program, not the film program, not anything else, and they cannot go outside school because they need them for their plays.
Yeah.
They're presenting plays.
And
Stevie-
also in the UK, I think they do that too to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about the studying and really getting, so that if you're thrown any direction, then you can handle it and you don't, you know, get nervous under pressure. So.
Stephen Odachowski.
Hi.
Front and center.
So my question is, so on our resume for special skills, I know we're supposed to put like, we speak other languages and things like that. I personally, like, I'm a very athletic person and still do a lot of athletic stuff. I'm in very good shape. And I just was curious, like, what is a good way to portray that, to get that across? Because as someone who loves movies and loves sports as well, when I watch a sports movie, like, there's so many unathletic or like people who look like they have no idea what they're doing in it. So I was just curious, like, is there like a way that, or that, like, besides just putting it under special skills on a resume, that you could get that across, whether it's through, like, I don't know, pictures or a demo. I don't know if I could demo reel me playing sports. I don't think that would do well, but
No, you
just
don't need
kinda,
to
like,
do
curious.
that. Unless you were doing stunts, you know, and say this is the, a
Yeah.
lot of people do stunt reels. But we also, as casting directors, get a kick out of somebody if they want to say something funny, you know, at the end, like, you know, walk and chew gum at the same time, you know, it's, so that's conversation starters if you're ever in a room with us. But for instance, Marshall has skills, the NASA officer, space industry, yoga, good with kids and dogs, which I thought was very funny. Weight training, you know, so you can write in those things, and it's always helpful. I mean, if you're good at, you know, instead of saying horseback riding, you say, what kind of horseback riding? If you play racquetball, you know, those things are all great. And in parentheses, you can say, you know, can do almost any, you know, sport that I'm put to task with, you know.
Okay.
You know, I tried to be funny on my resume for about 5 years. I put at the very end of my resume a little asterisk that said best chef in the world. And then at the end of it, I put another asterisk that said, this is a blatant lie. Nobody ever got it. Nobody ever looked at it. You would have laughed, Victoria, but nobody ever, you know, not a word. I thought,
Yeah, like
okay.
Barbara has here funny voices. That's cute. You know, it's like you can find those things that that you do. So yeah. Say sing, and like Rebecca does synchronized swimming. That's fascinating to me, you know. So anyway, I was in Guatemala, so yeah, have fun with that. You can always remove it if somebody comments, or your agent or management, whoever you end up signing with, if you're not signed already, and, you know, say, is this too far or too much? You take in opinions. Yeah.
Sure.
Go for the gusto.
Noelle.
Yes. Hi. Okay. So I was gonna say exactly what Kenneth say. Like, what if you have absolutely nothing? So I got the skills for it. So I can put like athlete, French.
Yep.
Strong voice. Can I put, because I have a really masculine voice, can I put it? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you could put a sexy smoker's voice, something. It's that you can say something like that if you want. It's just and French fluent. And if you can do other languages, you put that down. And your height. You guys don't bother with hair and eyes and weight. You only need your height. And even agents are going to tell you, don't put the height on. I fight that. You should have a height, only because I've done programs that required height requirements.
Okay, thank you. And I was gonna say, because I obviously don't have a demo, so I've sent like my monologue from UCLA, but it's not. I don't know if it works. And you say we can do a demo with Toni's classes.
Yeah,
So like take.
if you do a scene and you guys agree that you like it, then use that. So there's the show that Lily Collins has done with it's the Paris. It's shot in Paris. It's such a cute little series, and I just blanked on the name of the series. And you could go in if there's a show that you really like and you see a character that you really like, tape it, do that, and have somebody in the scene with you and do that scene. There's always ways of doing it. Just don't do the classics.
Okay.
But oh my gosh, it's not American in Paris. It's this New York girl that's sent to Paris.
Emily in Paris.
Emily in Paris.
Yes, there you go. Emily in Paris.
Yeah.
Thank you. And go and look at that show there. Like there's the boss woman. You could pick one of those characters and do a scene and do it. And you can speak French and English and do it so that you do it half in your own, language and half. You can always cheat. We love that. So
okay.
play around.
And I have one last question. Sorry. Sometimes in the casting website, they put like age. They put like range. For example, voila. But for example, me, maybe I can look younger. Maybe I can look older. So can I play with that? Like, can I go for like a 22 years old role? Or like in 35, like even if I'm 27?
So everybody that sent me their resume, I crossed out the age range. I think it's wrong to do an age range. You're seating us with where you belong, and you shouldn't do that. That in my opinion, that's just my opinion. Because if you can play younger, let your agent submit you for younger. If you can play older, submit for older. But don't tell us what age range you play. The only one that really gets me, it's very silly. Somebody said, I play from 10 to 80. Somebody said that to me in a class. I'm like, really? This was a woman that was clearly in her 30s telling me she could play 10 years old. Well, on stage I can. Oh my God.
But Victoria, on LA Casting and Actors Access, they ask for your age range. What do you say about that? They will not accept it unless you put your age range in.
Oh, really? For posting?
Yeah, and it's illegal.
Wow.
It's a bummer.
That's on casting networks now?
Yep, LA Casting and Actors Access, they make you put an age range in now.
Well, that's a shame. Well, then go with the age range. All the agency stuff that I see doesn't show age range on any resume.
Okay, so
it's not on your resume. What I'm asking is that they're showing it on Access on LA Casting. They just redid LA Casting this past month and a half.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
you guys look at that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that on LA Casting, so that's
for
new.
alerts though. For our alerts, so that if I put this certain age range, then I only get alerts for that specific age, as opposed to getting all the alerts. So it kind of filters out the alerts I receive.
I see. So well, be authentic to it, because you don't want you to be submitted or get an alert for somebody that's 20 when you're clearly not. So maybe that's why they're doing it, is for the alerts.
Nancy,
Thank you.
turn on your mic,
I
Nancy.
know, I'm getting there. I have two questions following up on the foreign language ability. I have taken a lot of foreign languages and I'm pretty good at them, but I wouldn't say I'm fluent. Is there a better way to describe that? I think Marshall, I saw in your resume that I think you put advanced or something. I don't know whether that you were talking about your language ability, but is that a better way to put it?
Well, yeah, the way to do it is to either fluent or conversational.
Okay. All right. I think I'm somewhere in between. I've had a ton of classes and training in both French and Italian. So, okay.
But you could probably, if you got something, you could probably polish up a little bit.
Yeah.
And you say, look, that, I took a bunch of classes. If it goes down that line and say, I'm really good at catching up. So it's not like it's a hard thing for me. It's an easy thing if it is.
Right. Yeah, no, that the foreign languages come easy to me. I can do a lot of different accents. So I just, and are there particular, when you're recommending we put that down, what kind of parts have you done in the past where you've been casting, where you've specifically looked for foreign language ability? Is there something in particular that we can emphasize or we can look for, or voiceover work or something like that, where that would work well?
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, having foreign language ability. So, since
let me see what's going on with this. I'll be right back.
I don't think that you're talking about two different things.
Okay.
Nancy. Voiceover and would be called looping, and
Okay.
that's not what she would be doing.
Yeah, no, she casts. I know that for films.
She casts the actual actors.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. The other, are you back? Okay. The other question I had, Toni clarified something for me, is on stage acting, because most of my background is in stage. Is there anything in particular casting directors look for where they're looking for someone that's had that background, or does it matter at all? Because when you were talking before about how pressure filled it is when you're auditioning and you're on a stage and hitting your marks and all that, with stage acting, I've had a lot of experience with that kind of pressure.
Well, most casting directors appreciate any theater that's been done. Where it really works is in the motion capture world, because it's a little bit more heightened in the acting. So that could be something, in talking to a manager or agent when they're looking, if, like the video games, that's a lot of motion capture. So that could be another area where the theater experience comes in.
Okay.
So yeah, but most everybody looks at it. I don't know anybody who doesn't look at it as a plus.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Jessica, Ma?
Yes, I'd like to ask a question. So I have some videos either from the class with Toni or from some other videos I shot with my friends or other casting directors or my production directors. I'm not 100%, I guess, happy with any of these videos. I mean, I can use them and include them in my profile, but I'm always afraid that, hey, if you see my picture, they liked my picture, but then they click on the tape and they didn't like the tape. It's not like very high quality, polished. So is it like a drawback to put those videos there? Maybe I shouldn't even include the videos. Or to your point, if I have a footage, then like they can see my stuff, I guess, like with a better chance. I guess I have a dilemma here.
So I'm going to say that if you don't love it and the quality isn't good, don't use it. Because you're right. We may love the picture and then look at the video and go, oh, that's what she's putting up. So we would veer away. So in that case, then my recommendation, until you get a clip or a scene that you really feel proud of, then use the slate, the 10-second slate, and that'll push you up in the consideration, where we see it sooner than later. Especially when there's 1,000 people, you're part of the the first 100 or 200 that have tapes up.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Thanks,
but
Victoria.
be proud of something that you're putting up, and go the extra mile to make something that's really fun and that you like, so that we get to see that.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Rebecca Gonzalez.
Hi again.
Hi.
I have a question. Like, of course, us as actors, we need to be managed by someone. But my question is, since I'm not living in the US right now, but I'm planning to, because of course I want to be there. Here in Guatemala, the actors don't get managed by people. It's really different from there. So should I be looking for someone in the US that probably represents international actors, or should I find someone from here?
Well, you're saying that they don't really have agents and managers in Guatemala, right?
No.
So then I would say you put together some scenes of the way you feel you're strong at playing certain characters, and put 2 or 3 of those scenes together, and then pursue somebody in the States that likes to work with international actors.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Does Breakdown Service still put out, those little books that there was a book for casting directors with the shows they were doing,
I don't think they do.
managers? They
Check
don't.
with them. I'm not sure, because I think they've switched it all up, and I haven't used it in so long, because we all have it on our Breakdown. You can see all the agents there. So
there's
I
no
don't know.
agent books or is there?
I don't think there used to be. I'm not sure. I would say that that's a quick call that maybe somebody could make and share with the class, whether or not they provide those books anymore.
Well, there used to be an organization called the California Managers Association, CMA. Do they have that anymore?
That I'm unaware of. Because again, it's not something that I needed to use.
Yeah.
So it was more of an actor's thing that they needed. But I think what you find out too is you just don't know, what kind of agency or manager it is. And you have to do your homework as well. You want to make sure that you're not signing with somebody that just, as what we call, throws a lot of shit at the wall and see what sticks. You want to feel like you're, being cared for, and you have to court your agent too. I mean, it's like literally to stay up with them. So it's a relationship.
It is. Like
Sorry?
the big agencies like William Morris, you're gonna go nowhere with. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they have teams, that work with people, but there's always the joke, either you're working or you're not working. And actors are constantly disappointed, and so it's tough. And agents are complaining now too. They're just saying, we can't make the money, because it's like, hey, are you interested in any new talent? No, I can't even get the actors I have signed a job. So I think that's why Actors Access is becoming, much more fruitful for people, because the casting offices are saying, hey, there's more than just with the agents. So in that way, it might be good.
I wanted to ask you, do you think it's better to get an agent before anything, or first submit and then eventually, when you get more experience, get an agent, a manager?
I would recommend that if you do have an agent interested in working with you, get them on, because no, I'm saying if you can get an agent interested, do pursue an agent, because then they have their thumb on what's going on. So they get, breakdowns to be able to submit you for, but you working with the agent need to determine when you're ready to really go out and get the jobs. So.
And how can you get their attention?
You have to put a package together and pitch yourself.
Okay.
So it's sending in a letter, say I'm looking for representation. I usually say you want to do bullet points. You don't want to do a long lengthy letter. We get bored after, and I say we, the royal we, you get bored after reading a couple of paragraphs usually. So you want to be, this is, my age range, this is what I do well. I see myself as this, it's like pitching yourself to somebody for a job. And then they go, oh, I want to work with you. So then they go, and then they usually interview you, and then you see whether or not you can work together.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Yes, do you get better chances on principal roles if you're SAG?
So share something with me. What is a principal role to you? What's the difference between principal and featured?
A principal role is a role with with dialogue. Line.
And what's featured?
Featured is, like, for example, I did this. It was a Nick Nolte, Josh Duhamel movie where in the opening scene there were two Asian businessmen, and we were exchanging. We were drinking in agreement, and then I get a briefcase, and then immediately I get assassinated. So it's like, it's just the two of us, and I get assassinated. Then there are, shots of me, falling, and, tight shots, close-up shots from every angle. So yeah, that's how I define feature.
Okay. So in my world, featured is a speaking role.
Okay.
Principal is a speaking role, and they mean the same to me. But principal would be like Canadian, and featured would be the US. So that's why when I saw that on a resume, and I don't know if it was yours or whose, but I would what you were doing was background special business.
Okay.
As the featured character, because you didn't speak, right? You weren't. Okay, so you were it's called special business extra. So I usually recommend that you not put those on. If you want to, you could put in parentheses special business, extra, just to be really clear. But I would use featured as a speaking role, and co-star is the same as supporting. And then lead is lead, starring is lead. But yeah, that was confusing when I saw principal and featured. Does that help?
Yeah. So yeah, and then going back to my question, because I'm SAG eligible and I don't know when I should join. So people tell me maybe I should, go for more non-union roles, more, to build my reel, but or to build because it works. I don't know what should come first, right? Maybe I should join SAG already, so I'll have more chances with principal roles, or not join SAG and just keep going for short films, non-union shorts, and all that. So yeah, I actually, because right now I have 33 vouchers, and I'm sure the next time I get a SAG role, I'm a must join, right? So
yes. And so here's the deal. Once you're a SAG, you can't really do the non-union stuff. You're not supposed to. So why not are you rushing to pay $3,500? It's pretty expensive to join, and then in order to get the insurance, you have to make so much money per year. I think it's 25,000 now, as an actor to get the SAG insurance. So my recommendation would be just continue to do these little jobs, and until you get that job that makes you a must join, you've got more opportunity right now than if you went to SAG and joined. Plus, you'll be $3,500 out of pocket.
And Marco, baby steps.
Yeah,
exactly. No, yeah,
You
that's
have
what I
to
wanted
take
to.
baby steps, learn everything you can learn. You've only been doing it 4 months, and I'm not saying that to put you down in any way, shape, or form. You've had fabulous luck, but baby steps, just one step, and it will happen. If that is what you put out to the universe, and you're very good, it will happen. And SAG is not the answer at this point, unfortunately. I think SAG is on its way, it's wobbling. It's in a treacherous area right now.
So yeah, that's why I intend to wait.
Yeah, I think you're having more opportunities now in the position that you're in than going and rushing to sign up with SAG.
Do we have any other questions from this fabulous woman, Katharina? Jesus, I'm sorry. That's my phone. James Brown. I apologize. I'm so sorry. Right now.
I wanted to know, what are some things that you would recommend for us as actors to just be aware of, maybe related to safety, conduct, just some tips or things to be mindful of?
Well, the traditional is you want to be as professional as possible when you go in a room, be prepared with your materials. So much is self-tape now. I keep going back to being in the room, but don't allow anybody to push sexual stuff on you. If there's nudity stuff, make sure that it's gone over by an agent, a manager, or a lawyer so that you're not bullied. Just keep it all very, very professional and businesslike. There's a lot of people that are all about business and some that aren't, We've all gotten, tricked. I got tricked into working for somebody that all of a sudden I went, wait a minute, I feel like I'm this guy's pimp, bring me girls. And, we have this role that we're going to put in a movie. I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't work. So we quit.
Wow. You quit?
Oh yeah. They wanted to send me to Florida to bring in all these girls for a role that didn't exist in the current script. And I called some agents down there and I said, what do you know about these guys that they want us to go down? Oh yeah, we've had a really bad experience with them. Scott and I quit. And they're producers that work pretty often. They're doing a lot of stuff and it's unfortunate. I don't know why they haven't been called out in the Me Too. It's horrible. So anyway, but yeah, keep it, that's, just your personal integrity about it. You're going to know. But being prepared is really key, and dressing and the feeling of the role is now key. And when you do your auditions, just make them as authentic as you can, as in your character. That goes a long way. Like, it's very exciting. Doing Pinocchio. There's a guy, he's a comedian actor that our associate had seen him in a few Italian films. And, it was one of those interesting things like, oh God, this guy kind of co-stars with all these films. And it's kind of hard to ask this guy in his 50s to go on tape. and he put himself on tape. He's going to play Stromboli in our movie, the circus guy, and he did clearly, to me, one of the best auditions I have ever seen in my 40 years. He owned it. I sent a message to him and his agent, and they were like shocked. They're like, oh my God. And, and then Bob wanted to meet him on Zoom, and then he hired him. So we've got, a wonderful Italian guy playing our Stromboli.
Is there a lot of circus people in it?
No. No, we did have a little girl. It's her second job ever. She got a really good role in our movie. And yeah, she's the only one. She was supposed to have a peg leg, and then Disney decided that the peg leg couldn't work because she didn't really have a peg leg. And so, we made it just, I guess, that she's limping.
Is it kind of a dark movie?
No, Disney. We're doing a Disney version of Pinocchio. It's not going to be the dark one. Ugh. No, it's all light and fluffy.
The dark one, I think, will be Guillermo del Toro's version. So
what?
Probably Guillermo del Toro's version will be the dark one.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. So does Robert Benigni's or Benigni's. Did anybody else have any questions? Yes, Marshall.
I was just wondering if social media presence plays any sort of factor in your deciding.
Yes, good question. That does. There are agents now with certain, especially if somebody's switching from music to acting, they will put down their followers and Instagram, and yeah, that's all in their pitch to us. So they'll send a demo, a picture, a resume, and all their social media splash.
Woof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just jump in because that stuff can be a really big deal on the show that I did with Sean, that I was working for as the number 2 to the showrunners, and it was this great couple, and they very much had an actress in mind for the role of Sean's wife on the show that they really loved, that did like everything they could have dreamt of for the part. And the studio said, we want Melissa Joan Hart to do it because she's got like 12 million internet followers and all these, and they were like, yeah, that's great, but it's not really what. It didn't matter because it meant more to the show. It was like you already had a built-in audience of 14 million people. I mean, as it turns out, Melissa was great, and everyone was like, well, she was terrific, so it didn't matter. But they absolutely cast that role because of her social media presence.
Yeah, it is. It does become important to some people. Yep.
Yeah, it's like a built-in audience.
That's why some musicians and singers will get roles because of that. It's a built-in audience that brings it over. Yep. Even Bob had something we were doing. He's like, oh, check out this guy. He's got all these followers. I'm like, when did you know that? Yeah, that's right. He has kids.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, Victoria, Lucky Picasso sends his love.
Oh, Lucky Picasso.
19 years old now.
I know. That's amazing.
And he's walking still.
Yeah.
Listen.
Waddling.
He's waddling.
He does, and he's waddled just out of the room. And then Antonia had her dog in her lap earlier, I saw.
Yeah, she's like sitting right here. She has to be like here the entire time.
Yep. Well, that's why the barking you were hearing is the Chihuahua downstairs going, why? I hear you. Why aren't I up there with you? Is this a little palm mix?
No, she's a long-haired Chihuahua.
Oh, how cute. Look at those ears.
She's like my baby.
I've got a few in the front house. I don't know if you guys could hear those barkings, but yeah, I'm fostering right now 2 little 8-week-old Chihuahua puppies.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I have a 4-month-old mix that's she was born in my kitchen, and she's sight impaired, so but she sees shadows. So there's my other world.
She does. She's probably very
shadows. She runs around and she doesn't hit anything. Thank God. my little
Well,
Farah.
Victoria, thank you so much. I know you've got to go to work and all that, but from all of us to you, wow, what a generous, loving person you are to share all this with us.
You're
So-
welcome. And you guys, I look forward to seeing the pictures and resumes, and I will get back to you and I will make comments and all of that. So I do.
Can
hope
you send
one here-
your email again in the chat, please?
So Toni will have all of that for you. Juan, did you have something else that you wanted to ask?
No.
Yeah, thank you for
I saw the hand.
yeah. It's just it was something that I just I mean something that I came up that I
Just
wanted
thought
to
about.
ask. Yeah. So when you go to cast somebody in general, you have, I imagine you have an eye for for certain actors and certain actresses, and also I for sure it depends on the script, but what do you see that it's as your personal taste, good or bad? What can be what can be accentuated like on the tape or in person? What's your your taste on
What stands out to me?
exactly? Yeah.
It's somebody making a strong choice.
Okay.
So I can see when an actor is kind of 60% in their character and 100% in. And when they bring something and create, the scene where I get to feel what's going on, it's huge. It's just, it gets exciting. So I love it when an actor makes a strong choice and then afterwards turns and says, is there anything you'd like me to do different? That was my take on it. And we go, oh yeah, how about this? And then you start playing, and it's when we were doing Poltergeist, there was a known actress that came in and she just didn't really know what to do with the role. She just kind of did that just enough because she was a name actress.
Yeah.
And Scott and I worked with her and directed and gave ideas, which we thought, well, afterwards it would have been really lovely had she had come up with these ideas. But we worked with her and she ended up getting the role because we pulled it together, the three of us. So, but I really get excited when somebody makes a start, like Stromboli did. Like he was throwing things and he took Pinocchio and threw him in a watering can. And I mean, it was so creative. I was like, damn,
Interesting.
Yeah.
And if myself and I'm talking on the director side, I don't know if you have directed, but what do I look for in a casting director? What do you think it's something that it has to be there, and if it's something extra that person has it, I mean, for sure go work with that person. What do you think about
a collaborator and somebody that's going to give ideas and think out of the box for you, because you want somebody that is going to hear your vision, but also say, if you find something that's interesting, I'll take a look. And that's what gets us excited, is that even though you may have a strong vision of the way you see the piece, you're still open to seeing something else that we might get, because we're looking at the 40, 50 actors and the tapes of someone, and we might see something that you hadn't thought about in your piece. So, versus coming to you and saying, oh, we have this idea. And I'm like, I never wanted that. Why are you bringing that to me? Believe me, people have said that. And you just go, because I'm trying to be creative and bring ideas. You don't want somebody, we don't want to work with somebody like that. And you don't want to work with a casting director that goes, yeah, that's all there is.
Oh, I see. Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much. Sorry for the time that I'm taking.
Oh, you're welcome. We're good. We're a minute under.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you letting me come in and chat and talk to you. And I hope that there's some stuff that each one of you, has that works for you.
Thank you, thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank
you
you,
very much.
Victoria.
Right.
Namaste.
See you in emails.
You.
Tony, I'll see you soon. We're
Yes.
gonna have lunch soon, I hope. Okay, honey.
We are.
Okay.
Welcome back from Mexico.
So much.
There's Murray.
Bye.
Hi, thank you very
Bye.
much.
Thank
thank you.
you.
Well, wow. She was filled with a lot of information for us. Yes.
She was wonderful, so down to earth and gracious. I really appreciated
Very
it.
generous.
Oh, she is a very gracious woman. And she gave you some really good feedback that I think that I've been trying to teach you guys with that before moment, so that you're not just talking from silence, you know, like Marshall. Where's Marshall? Oh, Marshall's off. Oh, there you are. Like, you know, I helped Marshall the other night. Like I said, let's do before life. That'll take it in for you. Because whether they want it or not, it doesn't really matter as long as it works for you, which I think is what you were saying with the other guy who was walking down the street and stepped in dog dew and made that funny little, you know, they want you to get the job. They want, once they've called you guys in.
Bless
you.
Bless
Oh, oh, I thought I was muted, guys. Sorry.
Who sneezed, Stephen? God bless you. God bless you. Oh, cat fight. Wait a minute, hold on. Cat fight, cat fight. Get back, get back. You hear that, Roy?
And on cue, here comes Murray. Night long.
Nice to see new people.
The cat fight.
Yeah. Danny, is your cat still drooling?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, whenever he can, whenever he gets
Right.
comfortable,
Yep.
purrs and drools. Yeah.
That's right. And he's back. Oh, he's been
Yeah.
driving me crazy. Hi, Patrick. Hi, Marshall.
I was
Hi,
just thinking,
Dawn.
hi, Nancy.
Oh, long time no see, Nancy.
I know.
Yeah.
Traitor.
And Marshall, congratulations on your decision to go to film school, right? You're going to go to UCLA?
Oh no, it's just no, it's it's a acting for the camera.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So, yeah, the law school was a little
Non-starter.
Yeah, I'm not trying to inflate myself at all. It was a very difficult decision. I had to talk to like my mentors, and my mom was like, "What am I doing with my life?" You know what I mean? And so, yeah,
I'm very impressed with you. And you're so generous, Marshall. You know, sharing your journey with us and tools that you've used. And I mean, when Victoria got back to me and she used your resume as an example of the right way to do it, that was really cool.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
did
I
the
had
same
no
with
idea.
me. Yeah,
Oh, no.
she sent me your resume too. It looks great. Very professional.
So, would you guys like to do some quick scenes from our open scenes?
Oh, guess we're.
Or do you want to just let it go? You know, next week is our last week. So I need to send you scenes. Please let me know if you're going to be continuing with the scene class, everybody. Patrick, you have your hand up?
Nope.
Oh, that's funny. There's a hand in front of you. Please let me know who, you know, if you're continuing, because, you know, next week is our last week, and then we're taking a week off, and I'll probably start the first week of July, on Monday night.
What about the improv class that you
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Who's interested? I mean, Friday night, I'm surprised there wasn't a lot of people from my a commercial class, was there?
Well, Tony, are you going to kind of intersperse the commercials with the improv, or is it going to be all improv, like 24/7?
Well, that's Good question. I never thought of doing that, but that could be really interesting, Nancy.
Or mix
Jeff,
it
you
up
know,
somehow so it's not all, you know,
one
improv-
night, 1 week commercials, next
Yeah.
week improvisation, next week commercials,
Oh,
next week improv. That's interesting. I'm kind of interested in that myself. Kenneth?
So like, since we have 3 hours, right? How about like we do like an hour and a half improv, or 1 hour improv, and 2 hours of commercial reading?
Yeah.
I don't think we'll have time for that. Pardon.
Um,
No, but I mean,
again,
'cause it's always
again,
too-
that's another interesting thought. I'd rather do one full class of commercials in the next class on improv. And then as we get on further into it, I can do that, where we can disperse it, where I can show you where you can use the improv in the commercials. So here's what I need to know. I'll send you scenes tonight, but I need to know who's sticking with just the scene class and who wants to do Barbara, and then who wants to do the commercial improv class. Barbara? Anybody else?
Tony,
know
I'm
that?
kind of debating whether I should go back into scene acting just to be different.
I'd like you to be in the scene class.
Okay.
Nancy.
All right.
I'll continue with the scene class.
Who? Danny?
Danny.
So I've got Barbara, Noel, Nancy, Danny, Stephen.
Me as well.
Jennifer. Kenneth.
Yeah.
I can join,
Okay.
join the scene class.
Yes, Marco. That's on Monday nights, Marco. Marshall, are you staying in the scene class?
Uh-huh, yes.
Okay, so let me just read the list and then you tell me who's in the scene class. Barbara, Noel, Nancy, Danny, Stephen, Jennifer, Ken, Marco, and Marshall. Patrick, you're not going to do the scene class, right?
I'm gonna think about it, Tony. I'm gonna like, I don't know if I have the space for both the improv and the scene class. I'm not sure which one I'm already missing people I wouldn't be here with, so I'll have to think about it.
Okay, now talk to me about the improv, because we're going to be missing that 1 week. Remember that we're doing this Friday, and then after that I'm in Mexico for Royce's daughter's birthday. So we'll be having that last class on so we're doing Friday the 25th, and then to end it, you'll have one class on the 2nd. Yeah?
Yeah, that's the, right, that's a commercial class.
Yes, but now we're talking about doing, yes, yes. So who's so are we all agreeing on commercial and improv?
Yeah,
Or no?
that's what I said I will be up to, not for the scene class.
All right, so Noel, you're in the scene class, right? Are you
No,
gonna be?
improv
Oh.
and please.
Okay, so wait, let me start again. Scene class, Noel, you're not gonna be in the scene class?
No, I just wanted to do, it's gonna be at the same time, right?
The scene class is on Mondays. So if you want
I
to
mean,
do
the
it,
same session. Right? Like it's gonna be during the same session that you're gonna do improv and scene study, scene class.
No,
we were talking about the commercial class.
Yeah, I'm saying it's gonna be on the same 6 weeks, like one thing on Monday, one thing on Friday. So if I do both, I'll have 2 classes in the same week, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, so like Patrick, let me think about it because I'm not sure, but I think I will do the commercial and improv, practically
Okay.
sure, and I'll see for the scene class.
Okay. So for the improv and commercial class, who's still involved in that one? Katharina, Stephen, Patrick,
That's the one on Fridays, right?
yes. Marco, I think probably Alicia, Jennifer, Kenneth.
I want to think about it, Tony.
Me too.
Yeah, me too, Tony.
Who was the last? That's Rebecca?
More the better.
Yeah, because I will not be able to continue in the scene study class on Mondays.
Okay. So let me know about that. You have time. Irmac or everybody else dropped out, I see. Okay, so let me know, Irmac, if you're interested in doing one of these classes. So far, just let me go over it again so I have a feel. For scene class, Barbara, Nancy, Danny, where am I? Stephanie. Who's Stephanie? Steven, Jennifer, Ken, Marco, Marshall. Sorry, guys. And then for the improv / commercial class. And by the way, in the scene class, we do improv anyway, when I have you redo the scenes and all that stuff. For the improv commercial class, Noel, maybe. Katarina.
No, sure.
Oh, Noel,
Maybe
you're
for the
sure?
same study, but for this, sure, 100%.
So Noel, Katarina, Stephen, Patrick, Marco, Jennifer, Ken, and I think Alicia's in that class. Anybody else?
Tony, you said Katharina, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. All right. And Kenneth, you're not in that class? Yes, you are. All right. And Nancy, you're thinking about it. And Barbara, you're thinking about it.
I mean, if I sign up, I might, I know I have to skip one class. I might, just come in and out unless you don't like that. But I would pay for the whole class.
I think Alicia's in that class. And I may get some other people. Okay, good. So at least I have I have an idea about it. And Ermac, you're invited to it too. You're invited to the commercial class / improv class if you want.
And
you're
it starts
invited.
the first week of July, or?
It starts in July, yeah. It'll be the first well, you can sit on the first Friday anyway, which will be the last straight commercial class. And then if you want to take that class, then that's going to have some improv and commercial. If you want to take the scene class, it's scenes, but we do the underbelly, which is all improv. So just let me know. I'm so pleased that we had Victoria tonight. I think she gave us some extremely important information, and I want to add to it that I think, Marshall, you put in that, or someone put in Backstage West, had some names of managers and agents. I believe at this point in your existence, it's so hard to get an agent, but so much easier to get a manager. And to tell you the truth, they can do a lot more for you. They can really, I mean, I was a manager for several years. I got a lot of people work. Hated doing it. Hated it.
So you guys might find this interesting. Tony, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
so I had an agent for a long time, and there was a dispute between the Writers Guild and some of the agencies. So the Writers Guild asked us to fire our agents, basically. So I had an agent, William Morris, for a long time. I had to fire him. So now the dispute is over, but that agent left William Morris. He didn't want to take me back on as a client. So I don't have an agent now. So I'm kind of been talking to people like, what's the climate and stuff like that. And I just spoke to this like younger woman in her 30s who's a manager. And what she said to me was, she's telling everyone right now, hustle. It doesn't matter how experienced you are. It doesn't matter what age you are. You've got to hustle. She said in today's town, she as a manager has to hustle and work all the time and keep 3 or 4 plates spinning. And she says to all her clients, whether they're just starting out or they're 50, like me, you've got to work it. You can't just think, I have an agent or a manager, they'll get me work. You've got to push, 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 because no one knows what the hell's going on right now. And
So what
everyone
that,
has to push.
so what that are you through? I didn't mean
Yep.
to stop there.
No,
So
I
what
just
that-
thought it was interesting, you know?
So what that translates into, you guys, is specifically this. You have to go to parties. You have to mingle. And you have to tell people about yourself. You can't just sit back and think I'm a great artist or even a good artist. It was one of my faults. I mean, I had big shows. And I didn't go to parties. I was shy. I didn't want me shy, but I was. And when I did go to parties, the guys were always checking out the babes with the big boobs and the blonde hair. And it would freak me to no end because I'd be saying, and they'd be just looking that way. And my feelings would get hurt. No, you got to go up and say, I do comedy. This is what I do. I study with blah, blah, blah. This is what I do. I'm a musician. I'm an athlete that is transferring all my abilities to acting. I'm a singer. I'm in a band. That's the Tom Petty band. But I'm also acting. The minute you put that in their heads, that's how you make your connection. I made a connection with William Morris. I was with him when I first arrived in LA. They're useless as far as I'm concerned. But I was riding up in an elevator. I was going up to see another manager and I had my 8x10 in my hand. And the guy looked down and said, hey, I work in the mail room. Would you mind if I brought your 8x10 to them? And they took me. It happens in the most unusual ways, So don't be shy about who you are and what you're about. Be proud of the fact that you were a politician and that you worked within, Congress or Washington, because that immediately is going to say to someone, God, she'd make a great judge. She'd be great on our lawyer show. Or I do funny voices, and I'm a character actress. This would be great. We're doing the next picture Disney's doing is Dagwood and Blondie. Do you know what I mean? I'm sorry. I mean, the fact that that 3 companies are doing Pinocchio
Yeah, that's
has
weird.
got to tell you how desperate they are
Yeah.
for materials. They're going into the darkness of these fairy tales, which are in reality written by the brothers Grimm, who wrote very dark fucking Hansel and Gretel. You know how dark that was? The witch ate children. I mean, these were dark fairy tales of the late 18th century. So everything about you is fabulous. Even Jennifer. Can you hear me, sweetie?
She's walking.
Okay. Jennifer, even saying to people, I'm from Orange County. My parents were this and that. The fact that you don't look like this and that is so interesting. Marshall saying, I work for NASA. Wow. Right away, you caught Victoria's eye because she did Contact.
Yeah, I like that movie a lot.
And I didn't even know she did that. Marco, the fact that you're so unique looking and different, you're going to catch a whole bunch of people's eyes. Ken too. And Katharina and Noelle, the fact that you speak French and English. I mean, all they want is for you to get the job. Go on to the next thing that they're doing. Victoria won't forget you guys. Trust me. She came to my cold reading workshops at least 9 times. And most of those people got work from her. small roles, but who cares? It doesn't matter. Any role is a role. Any role is a role. You know? So, any questions? We have a half hour left, which really isn't a lot of time.
I have one.
Yes.
When Victoria was reviewing and critiquing my resume, one of the things she put at the top, she put SAG.
Yeah, she did that on mine.
Yeah, I'm not in SAG. I mean, I used to be umpteen years ago, but I let that lapse, for years.
Well, how do you know? Why don't you call SAG and ask them what you have to do in order to be put in? Once you're in SAG, you're in SAG. You're just going to have to pay a lot of money back dues in order to be in SAG.
Well, I'd rather not.
Well, then maybe she was questioning, are you in SAG?
She didn't put a question mark on it. She just put it in the middle of my resume. She just said, put SAG. Maybe because of the credits that I have on there, they were union credits.
Yeah, so then you can't put SAG. I don't think you guys need SAG.
Well, I don't think so either. I'm seeing all this non-union work, and I'm sure if somebody wants to hire me, and pay me enough to join SAG, I'll be more than willing to then.
Again, what she was trying to explain, because Marco asked her this question specifically. He said, I have three vouchers from doing extra work means you can join SAG. And what she specifically was saying to Marco was that don't wait till you get your first SAG movie or TV show. Then the second one will be what's called a must join Station 12. Don't pay that $3,500. They don't deserve it right now until you really need to have to join.
Well, I'm just going to take that off, what she did.
Yeah, she probably thought because of your age range.
Yeah, she put that on mine too, but she did put a question mark. So she was probably wondering whether I was, and I'm not a member. But I forgot to ask her about the email. It was something you said, Toni, that you had suggested a different email address, but
I did. I put it, you guys go to chat. I just put it in chat right there.
Okay, because yeah, she suggested, but it's just such a long name, my name and then actor@yahoo.com. But if that's what, if that's better, that's fine.
Where's chat? Where's my thing of Victoria Burrows? I just put it in there.
Her email address?
Yeah, I put in.
Yeah, you put it in there.
Yeah,
you
it's
can
up
see
there.
victoriabcasting@gmail.com.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Do you all see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was suggesting my full name plus actor@yahoo.com, and it just seems really wordy or cumbersome. But if that's
I don't think you need it. I think it's for the beginning actors. I need to ask Marshall. Marshall, you had AJ do your pictures, right?
Yeah, he was very good. He was the second photographer I'd seen. What I liked about him is like we met and talked in person before we did any shoot. And he asked me.
He's an Indian guy, right?
Oh, so you know him. Okay. I won't say
Well,
any more.
no, I'm laughing because he charged you about $500, didn't he?
Yeah, but that's like the rate for almost all of them. But you find it cheaper?
No, the reason I'm laughing is because poor Jennifer, who's taking Adam's class at UCLA, I said, don't get your pictures done by AJ.
Oh.
Only because he's so friggin' expensive.
Toni, he never even came.
Really?
Yeah, he wasn't one of the guests.
Well, there's lots of other choices.
Well, how much did he charge?
He charged me, he charged me 500, which I was not surprised about, at least for me, based on the folks who I've met, but you've been in it much longer than I have, Tony, so.
No,
know?
I just thought it was a lot of money. I gave you last week my guy. Remember?
Maybe in your other class you did. I don't remember in your scene study class.
Hold on, let
I
me,
don't.
hold
But-
on, let me find it. Just give me a second here.
I did have a good
I'm gonna-
experience with him though. I'll say that, you know.
I'm sorry, what?
I did have a good experience with him though. You
Then
know?
I think then he's great. You know, hold on, I'm trying to open my, let me just do this, do this, do this. All right, let me just take a look and do pictures. Because I did give, let me move this over. I'm getting better at this, you guys. I'm getting much better. Not really good yet, but getting there.
I'm gonna say goodnight really quick to you guys, just because my phone's dying and my AirPods are dying and everything's pretty
so-
much dying. So I'm gonna go. But thank you.
Good night,
Okay.
Jennifer.
Good night.
Jennifer.
Thank you. Good night, guys.
For
I'll see you next
Night.
week.
Night.
Okay. Bye, honey. Here's a bunch of photographers, you guys. Do you see them all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a lot of photographers here.
Have you ever heard of a guy named Nick Torin? I think it is.
Uh-huh. But
I was gonna,
this isn't my photographer. I need to find out where my photographer is. It should be under pictures. Hold on. Let me see. Shit. Hey, you don't want to see that. Hey. Oh,
that's an interesting headshot.
hey. Now that you all know my age, let me see pictures.
How old is Tony? Oh, sorry, I'm on mute. Just kidding.
I have a whole thing of pictures. I gave it to everybody, I thought, last week. Shoot. Michael, what was his name? He was such a nice guy. Photos, let me see under my documents. Pictures. All right, well, I'll find it and send it to you because he's really good. He's a nice guy. I mean, I'm surprised because Marshall, AJ took great pictures of you. Oh, you know who that girl is? That's Cat and Catherine. Her father was a producer of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World.
Kramer?
Yes, Stanley Kramer. That was Stanley Kramer's daughter.
Huh.
Oh yeah. And his wife is just lovely. I don't know where I've got it here, but I've got it. I just have to look it up. But I got it. I sent it to everybody last week, but let me look it up, okay? And I'll send it to you guys because I don't.
Toni, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that if I like search on Google like international managers, I can find some good over there, or should I go other places to look for international managers?
So nobody, honey, nobody's going to handle you if you're in Guatemala, in Los Angeles. Why would they do that?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make sense, does it?
Yeah, it does. And it's like, yeah, it's like really hard to find someone that could do that.
I just don't think that's going to happen to you. Not until you're here. Is that going to happen for you?
Yeah.
Why? How are you going to get here for an audition? Now, if they're doing the movie in Guatemala, do you know what I mean? Then that might be a way to go.
Okay, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you, Toni.
But let me send it to you. I'm just not finding it. It's just crazy.
Okay.
So let me just send you guys, I'm going to send you scenes, and then I'm going to look for this guy's name, and then I'll send that in with you, with it. All right. But I think you all did great. I mean, she liked you all, you know. So I hope you felt really good about it.
I thought it was wonderful.
Yeah, she was so
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah. Good people. Good people. She won't forget you. She does a lot of stuff.
Very
So-
humble.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
And
She
she's
was my best friend for so many years. I mean, really my best friend. We went everywhere together. Okay, so I'm going to send you scenes. I can't seem to get back in correctly.
you're still sharing.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to find the name of this photographer. It was so easy the other night. Now I can't find it. All right. Were you able to take down some of the other photographers? Maybe I'll send that to you too.
Yeah, if you can send us.
Yeah. All right. So shall we say goodnight?
Sure.
Barb,
Okay, sweethearts. My love to all of you.
thank you, Toni.
Thank you,
for setting
Toni,
that
for
up.
bringing
I
your.
really
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
It's good seeing everybody again from that scene class.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, bye,
Nice seeing you,
Nancy.
Nancy.
Bye.
Morning.